Hi. In this broadcast, we will be discussing how the media is seriously lacking exposure of governmental secrecies and cover-ups. Our media and our country needs more transparency. We need to be able to know that we can trust the media, what they broadcast and tell us is accurate and true. We need to have the evidence, and we need to start asking more questions as Americans and stop just believing everything that we hear.
Do you watch the news daily?
Pretty much, yeah, I would say. But it's more online than live coverage.
Almost every day.
Do you feel like the source that you get your information about what's happening in the world is reliable?
Yes, I believe they are reliable.
To some extent, I think sometimes they're very repetitive.
I watch CNN most of the times, and I find they're really biased when it comes to a lot of things, so I'm going to say.
Somewhat, but I do my own research when I hear things.
Do you feel like the media can do a better job at covering some of the ongoing issues that's occurring in our society?
I believe that the media is doing a great job. However, media is open and receptive to improvement.
Yes, definitely. Because they overlook a lot of other things that are out there. And like they only put the things that people are entertained by. Like nobody really cares about Justin Bieber and his, and his new hairstyle,
They're looking for sponsors more than putting out the news.
I definitely think that they might work together, but although at first glance it might be a really bad thing to a lot of people, in some ways I think it might be good also, because I think as citizens there are just certain things we don't need to know, and as you say, the dumbest person in the world is often the happiest person in the world, and sometimes it's just better we don't know certain things. However, the things that they hide from us that are intentionally harming us, those are obviously problems and they shouldn't be allowed to do that. You know what I mean?
I feel that their hands are tied. I feel that when I say their hands are tied, they want to say more, but they're only allowed to say what the government wants them to say. And we know having a job, you have to do what they want you to do.
I don't know that they work together, but I think that there is some influence or some intimidation depending on the story. Things about CIA, NSA, income tax. Everybody's afraid of IRS. Even the government members don't want to go after the IRS.
It's half and half. The government tells the news or allows the news to tell them what they want them to say or what is allowed to say, instead of the full knowledge, truth, or the actual the full story that they want to put out, but they can't.
I'm sure there's reporters out there with hard-hitting stories with evidence to back it up, but it just doesn't get pushed forward because the higher-ups don't want it out there.
Top award-winning journalists who were unfortunately fired or dismissed because they were trying to expose governmental secrecies on their news stations, and they were denied access. Jane Aker, for example, she was fired from Fox News in 1997 because she tried to expose the Monsanto issue of them injecting cows with growth hormones. Research also showed that network executives and governmental officials would rather have a reporter lie or distort a story rather than tell the truth for the viewers to be able to know what is really going on. The Tuskegee syphilis experiment was an infamous and very controversial medical study that was conducted between 1932 and 1972. And that was done by the U.S. government. The United States Department of Public Health Services went to Tuskegee, Alabama, lied to a bunch of black men told them they had bad blood. We need to study your blood. And instead was injecting those men with syphilis, the syphilis virus, because the U.S. government wanted to know what the natural progression of untreated syphilis would be in a human. And their guinea pigs were African American men. Eventually, after many, many years, the American people got an apology in 1997 by President Clinton for the atrocities the government unfortunately committed and were exposed. Now let's talk about the Flint, Michigan water crisis. Where is the media coverage on that? Apparently, news media coverage failed miserably in Flint, Michigan. Thousands of people were exposed to very harmful and cancerous chemicals as well as lead in their drinking water. For 2 years, local news stations barely gave any attention, any news coverage to the crises, and only up until recently, the Flint H2O crisis went under the media radar. The representative, Michigan Governor Rick Snyder, Republican, declared Flint, Michigan to be in a state of emergency because of their lack of clean water, clean, healthy water, water that all tax-paying citizens drink, no less. It was a month ago that Rick Snyder gave a public apology and declared it a state of emergency. But why? Why was there never any true focus or emphasis on Flint's water crisis? You have to question it and wonder, does that have anything to do with the fact that there was more media coverage on the political campaign and debates that took away from other important issues like our health?
Modern day media is a joke. These so-called journalists are a joke. Elections don't even need to be rigged anymore because the government infiltrates the media and gives us our 2 or 3 candidates to pick from. They're choices, the only people we hear about in the media, and therefore the ones that most of us vote for.
Everything's a lie. It's all a big lie.
We need to support independent media like We Are Change, Press for Truth, Freedom Free for All, Adam Koket, Infowars, James Corbett, Brainfeed, Jeff Berwick, and of course us at World Alternative Media. It's crucial for the sake of our information and with that, our path as a society. Will we be slaves or will we be free human beings with truth at our fingertips?
You decide.